These are the stories of the 80-10-10 All-Stars. All-Stars. All-Stars.
Actually, in changing our way of eating when my daughter was diagnosed with arthritis at 3. And I knew disease was related to food. A lot of it was an environment. And so I kind of began my search, and we went, realized that dairy was a big culprit in sickness. And so I decided to get rid of dairy. And then I knew meat was not good for us or arthritic people. And so we got rid of meat, and then I was looking into more of a vegan diet and came across a raw food diet, which I thought would be a really good healing diet for my daughter. And so in the midst of all my 2 years of searching, I came across Dr. Graham, which was amazing. And I realized that reading his book was like a Bible, because it was like, it made sense. Like, I've read so many other books, but nothing clicked until I read it. And I realized I don't have to worry about all this protein. I don't have to worry about feeding my kids meat, which is just not a healthy way to go. So I was about 2007 when I made the switch to 80-10-10. Now my kids are not fully on the diet, but my husband is. But they do eat a lot of fruit, and they are vegan.
So how's your daughter doing with the arthritis?
She's doing really good. She's had it for 8 years now, and she has no joint damage, which is a miracle, because kids can be bone on bone by now, having it for so long. She has no joint damage, and she can still flare up if she gets like a virus or a sickness, and she doesn't get sick very often, and that can flare it up. And but she's maintaining it very well. Yeah.
So you say your husband is too? Your husband and you are.
Yeah, he came in about a year after me. He came in about a year after me, and he dropped a lot of weight from that. Not, like, I'd say 30 to 40 pounds. 30 pounds, I think? Yeah. Yep.
So, how's it been for you?
I love it. I keep wondering, will I ever go back to cooked, or, going back to, I love it. I cannot imagine going back to anything else. I feel like it's a diet that is so sustainable, because I think after 4.5 years, if I was deficient in anything or was getting sick, then I would have, I'd be like, what's going on? But I have not been sick for 3 years. I have more energy than I've had since I was, a teenager or in my 20s. I mean, I just love this diet. I feel like I'm eating, you get your cake and eat it too, because I get to eat all this fruit, and I love sweets, and it's just fruit for breakfast and lunch and dinner, and it's just like, how can you go wrong? I mean, I love the fact that you can just eat volumes, and before I was just eating an apple a day or something, and now it's just the best. And health-wise, it's amazing.
So, how about, like, fitness things? You said you have more energy?
Yeah.
Any other, like, fitness kind of things you've...
Yeah, I've finished, I was actually, before I switched over to the 80-10-10 diet, I was trying to run a marathon. And digestive issues came up, and I'm sure I was a wheat intolerance. I'm sure I had, like, a celiac or a wheat intolerance going on, and so I was really not doing well with the stomach problems. I had a lot of stomach problems, and low energy, and almost to a side of depression, kind of, you just are not clear-minded. And so after I took up eating this way, and all of a sudden things are clearing up, and my head's clearing up, and my body's clearing up, and I finished 2 Ironmans. Oh, wow. So, awesome. Well, I mean, what does that say,
So, the Ironman, like triathlon?
Yeah.
Oh,
yep.
Wow. Cool.
Yep. Yeah, and I've finished a couple ultra marathons too. So.
Awesome. An ultra marathon is like what, 100 miles?
You can they do a 50K, 50 miler, 100K, or 100 mile.
Wow.
And I'm gonna hopefully next year train for a 100 miler for my first one.
Wow. Awesome.
Yeah.
So I find it's like really easy to prepare raw foods. I mean, like when I'm working on the farm, people are taking lunch, and it takes them like an hour to cook lunch and eat it, and then maybe another half hour to eat it. So they're gone for a long time. Whereas I'm just like boom, when I'm eating raw, it's just boom,
so
it's done, and I've got lots of energy, and I'm back out in the field, and everybody else is like. So how do you? What do you think about like prepping food and stuff like that?
Oh, breakfast and lunch, unless you're making orange juice or, other than cutting a few things, it's so quick and easy, and, it's fast food. It's, people always think, I don't think I could, it takes a long time to eat, or I don't have time because I'm traveling. I'm like, man, you grab a box of bananas and you're set for 2 days. I mean, how easy is that? Yeah. So it's easy. And then dinner, depending on if you want to be fancy and having guests, you can prepare. It could take a couple hours. Or chop up a salad, throw in some tomatoes, make a dressing, and it's simple, easy. I mean, I feel guilty, like other parents come home and they have to cook and do all this, and clean, and I just prepare something real easy for my kids, and I have a lot of time on my hands, a lot of time.
So how did you first find out about the 80-10-10 diet? I
was on searching, and I came across I can't remember what a Living Nutrition website, I think, and and I was kind of into the high-fat raw thing, and that was not working for me at all. My digestive system was like not good. And then I saw some guy talking about eating 10. He goes, I don't do any fat. I just eat like 10 bananas and 10 mangoes, and I'm like, what? Huh? You can't do that. Then someone had said, well, this guy, Dr. Graham, he doesn't know what he's talking about, and so, because he eats too much fruit, and I'm thinking, I want to listen to what he has to say, because I'm very open-minded. I have to listen to what everyone has to say, and then I figure out for myself what works. And so I went to his website, and him being a fitness instructor and working with these athletes, I was like, this is it. Could help me. And then I contacted him, and I read his book, and that was it. And I told my husband, you got to read this book. Got to read it. And he's like, wow, this makes sense.
Yeah. That's something I hear a lot from raw people, like, well, not the 80-10-10 crowd, but from other people that are, like, especially if they're new, starting out raw, and they say something like, oh, yeah, I ate a lot of bananas today, and they're like, oh, you don't eat too much fruit, it's dangerous. So,
yeah.
So what do you think about that?
Well, I mean, I can understand why people say that, because I'm sure that's what my thoughts were years ago. And in fact, I remember hearing about the fruitarian diet when I was in college, thinking, those people are crazy, you can't do that. And so, you know what, I guess my theory is, if they say it's too much sugar or too much fruit, I guess my body would have let me know by now that it's not working. I always go with my body says. If this diet is working for me and I'm thriving, and all my weird ailments went away, and I haven't been sick in 3 years, then it's working. Then the sugar I'm getting is what my body needs. So I always go by that. I don't count my calories. I just eat, and I eat as much as food I want, and it works. So I just eat what my body says. It says I don't like too much fat. My body kind of gets a little bit more sluggish, so I keep it under 10%. So that's how I kind of intuitively eat.
Join us next week for another exciting tale of the 80-10-10 All-Stars.